Yo, yo, what is up, good people? The boys from the Facts and Geek Zone are back again with another dope episode for y'all. As per usual, I'm Izzy.
I'm Riyaal.
And we're going to be continuing with our MCU recap. And today we're going to be covering Thor Ragnarok.
Thor 3.
Yeah, Thor 3.
And if you weren't a fan of Led Zeppelin before, you are
probably
now.
are now. Yeah. Whoever chose that song, man. Jeez, what is so much to say about this thing? The only question is, where the hell do we start, you know? So to just give the lay of the land of the Thor movies and how we got to this stage, there've been some hits and misses where they're concerned, you know?
There's been one hit and one miss.
Yeah. And even that hit is like, soft hit, you know? So the first one was all right. And then the second one
was
not so much. And there was a crisis because now, that aside, every time he comes through in Avengers, he's one of the standout characters, you know? So it's like, what the hell is going on? How do we handle this Thor person and whatnot? Then comes along this Kiwi, aka New Zealand native, called Taika Waititi. He does his little Jack Rabbit, whatnot. He was like, you know, indie,
Jojo Rabbit, yeah.
Indie movie type dude, and which is also like Marvel's formula. You know, the actors, yes, they'll go big for the most part, but directors, these nice little niche dudes out there that have potential, they bring those guys in. So they bring him in and hand him the script, which I regard as damn near perfect. And the blend of the two worked out quite well overall, you know, giving us by far the greatest Thor movie.
Yeah.
And we're, of course, going to delve into what exactly makes it so great. Dog, I'm going to throw it over to you. Any particular point you want to
I want to say, for me, like, I always complain about the comedy in the in the MCU, and you could always trace it back to this one being kind of like the where it starts going up.
Yeah.
And I think my bias over time got worse and worse and worse to say it's a comedy movie. Not a. So on the rewatch, I was pleasantly surprised to see it's
not as bad as
I thought it was. It's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really, really good, and I enjoyed most of the comedy. And it was well placed.
Yeah.
Most of the time. There were definitely instances where I didn't like it.
Yes.
Not specific instances, but I'll give you like kind of examples where and when. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It highlighted new characters, an extended universe as well. Also visually really well done.
Yeah.
I think one of the better CGIs in the MCU. And we got a little bit more backstory into Asgard itself, which I really enjoyed. And then also the performances were really done well.
Now, I also echo your sentiments. You know, I remember back when I first watched it, definitely, saw this at the cinema. And, you know, there was this internal tug of war. I'm like, man, the story was so great, but the comedy, this and that. And, you know, so my view wasn't even skewed by the exacerbation of the comedy or exaggeration thereof that came afterwards. But even in real time, I was like, too much and whatnot. And then watching it, I'm just like,
it's not as much as you think as well.
This movie is damn near incredible. And the whole time people kept praising it. And it's not that I didn't feel it deserved praise. I felt like they were over-praising it.
Yes.
I'm like, no, it had potential to be great, but the comedy. And now watching, I'm like, I'm there with them. I'm feeling every emotion. I'm, you know, going through the ride. And I was like, okay, certainly I underrated this movie. And to your point, overrated the comedy and, you know, how much it took away, all of those things. But that's the beauty of, you know, this recap series. We get a chance to...
Your opinions change.
Refine and correct and update them, you know, as necessary. So, but the thing that I realized is that even upon checking the credits that, Taika Waititi didn't write this movie. He wasn't involved. So it's likely a matter of a separate group of writers, and then he just came in to direct. Of course, his influence is going to come through in the script and whatnot, but he didn't, you know, touch on the base of it. Whereas my speculation for the next Thor, which is something completely different,
Yeah,
is that
he
he
had
may have
more-
been more
yeah.
involved. But let's not get ahead of ourselves on that front. So, yeah, man, I then had a blast and a half watching this.
Yeah.
And not in the sense that it was so funny that, but just in how great the movie was. It was an incredible ride, practically from start to finish. A couple, caveats that do need to be mentioned and, some missed opportunities, some not so great moments. But overall, I was like, wow, okay, this was hella incredible. And again, kind of just, one of the marquee movies that you can use as far as, highlighting peak Marvel days.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, getting into the specifics of it, so story-wise, we now find Thor. He's in this weird zone, man. Yeah, he hasn't been to Asgard in quite some time.
And he's just broken up with Jane.
Yeah, so, I don't know if you want to call it it's not a rebound, but definitely, when you're on the mend, going a bit of a bender, as it were,
Yeah.
post losing the love of your life.
He literally went out into the universe to find himself.
Basically, and we start off with him there, in captivity with Surta, and then there's a whole thing of trying to ascertain what the hell is this Ragnarok, which is of course, the subtitle of the movie. But going back to the Norse mythology, which is where Thor originates, there's that whole thing of Ragnarok. It's basically their version of the
world,
redemption, end of the world,
yeah.
revelation, end of days, whatever it is that you want to call it. And the prophecy that this is now the time where it's supposed to happen. And then he's now going home on a journey to then, stop that whole thing. And we watch all these adventures unfold. I picked up something interesting in that conversation, which is where Surta says to him that Odin is not in Asgard.
Yeah.
Because I knew...
But also, he picks up on that as well, and then it clicks for Thor.
But now, yeah, from the conversation, my point is that I remember that when Thor gets to Asgard, he exposed Loki as having played Odin. But I never realized what sparked that initially. So I realized, the jump-off point is the conversation with Thousand. Because remember, he left Asgard, Thor.
Yeah.
He's been out there.
So we know Loki is impersonating Odin because they showed it in the second movie.
But Thor never saw that.
Okay.
So Surta lets him know that, Odin isn't over there. So it's like, okay, that's the inception point. And then upon landing, everything adds to it. It's like the Loki statue, the little play, and then...
also just Odin's like...
Yeah, the mannerisms and whatnot. He's just chilling.
Flamboyance,
Thor is like, yo, shit is going sideways out there. You out here eating grapes. Like... So he's like, nah, none of this is Odin. But again, I always wondered what sparked it. So it was nice to also just get the answer to that. And I literally checked the duration. It was roughly 40 minutes, give or take, before he got to the Grand Master's planet, which is where, of course, the comedy goes into another realm.
Yeah, so I think that's what I want to add. I say this a lot about movies, but this one definitely, movie of two halves.
Yeah. There's that as well in here. But the point is that the pacing of the movie, I mean, how many times we say, this movie dragged out, maybe this scene could have done without. But the pacing from where we see Thor with Surta, right up until then the fight with Hela, where, he then gets dropped off to the Grandmaster's planet. I was like, I don't know when last I saw this tight of a storytelling and the pacing and the editing. All of that was just, it was hella incredible, But again, not to get too ahead of ourselves, I want to get into Hela, man.
Hela.
Like,
Kate Blanchett, bro.
Kate Blanchett. She's talk about being an underrated character in the entire freaking MCU,
I knew she was a badass when I watched it.
Yeah.
And then seeing it now again, it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. The aura is there, as the kids would say.
Oof.
Yeah, for one that stood out for me, even just her strut.
Yeah.
The hips.
Yeah. The voice, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, she just had that presence of being a foreboding villain.
Yeah.
And even just the way they brought her in as well. Like, such a... If there's one thing about Thor, he loves his hammer.
Yeah.
He loves his hammer. And I did enjoy the scene where they were a bit on the nose about, your hammer pulled you off.
Yeah. He's like, whoa. He's like, no. I mean,
You ride your hammer. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, he loves his hammer, right? It's basically the source of his power.
Yes.
Oh, it is the source of his power. Perceived source. Well,
yes.
In the first movie, it is the source of his power. But
yeah.
Now, as Odin's passed away, anyways, let's do Hela and then we could talk about everything else. Brilliant character.
Yeah.
Really showed how powerful she was. Literally crushed the hammer with one hand.
Dog, within like 5 seconds of us seeing her.
She literally just came in. Yeah. Odin died. Yeah. It's like he left, she arrived, hammer destroyed.
And that's to my point around the timing of everything. Like, not just moving from scene to scene, but the pacing of whatever scene you're actually watching. That for me is something that I feel like I noticed it in the initial watch, but now I don't know, man, it kind of hit me on a whole other level. I'm like, fam, before they even have a chance to absorb the fact that their father just passed away right in front of them and mourn. And remember...
And literally, they're not on the best of terms because Thor straight up said, like, you did this.
And they haven't seen him in the longest time. So it's like the reunion was cut short. And then now the mourning, never mind cut short. They didn't even get to the mourning. Next thing you know, the spell is broken that's been holding Hela captive. And then she just gets out there, destroys his hammer. And then it's like, what the hell are we going to do now? You know? And even them trying to like stand up to her, it's like, nah. She laid their asses out like fresh laundry, dog.
Yeah.
Like, that for me. And talk about a assertion of power. You can sit and talk about, like, she's this powerful.
It's not even that she beat them. She arrived in Asgard, and his band of merry men. Kill.
People, and then after that, the rest of the soldiers all laid out. Yeah. And I like how they took their time showing her, kicking them one by one.
And she wasn't afraid to impale people.
Yes.
Like that homie, she's like...
She went there with it. So, badassery on 100. Badassery on 100. I was like, nah. I absolutely love this. And again, when you watch it again, think of the pacing from start up until that point. Everything was just super, super brilliant. But Kate Blanchett, her portrayal, and again I say underrated as a character in the MCU. We talk a lot about your Thanoses and all those other dudes, but she deserves to be way up there where the villains are concerned. Other characters, anyone you want to touch on?
Let's see, who are the other characters? Thor, Loki.
The classics, but Odin.
Good buddy cop. Odin, I mean, Anthony Hopkins was there for like all of 5 minutes.
But in this one...
He stole it.
No, he came through. The others, I'm like, you guys wasted this amazing actor. But over here...
Here it's just like,
on both fronts, as the Loki Odin and even as Odin, like, he played it so brilliantly.
And even that death scene is just so like, he just faded.
Yeah.
Like, your mother's calling to me. I was like,
and then he just disappears. And a lot of the times, I would see some of the Marvel death scenes and I'm like, that's clearly you guys trying to tiptoe your way around POPG. But this one, I wasn't mad at it because it felt like it's in that Asgard.
And it's kind of like, it's not like a untimely death. It's like
that too. I mean, he's like how many thousand years old? Yeah. But the fact that he turned to that fairy dust or whatever it was, I was like, Asgard, the mythical stuff.
Yeah, makes sense.
Here I can buy it, but a lot of times they do that unnecessarily. But this wasn't one of them. But shout out to Anthony Hopkins.
And then I guess Ruffalo played a really big part in this movie. Like it's like a Thor 3, Hulk 1.5.
Yes. And after such a long time of us not seeing him, I think
movie,
it was a great return to form, without a doubt.
Yeah, I didn't realize like how much dialogue Hulk actually had in this movie.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that.
For me, it was also in that sweet spot because this might be the best talking Hulk we have, because I feel like from here on, he's a little too humanoid in a sense. But here I was like...
He's still Hulk.
Just on the... Valkyrie as well.
Valkyrie, shout out to her. Her story arc was also really good.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Her story arc. Then you've got your ancillary characters, I guess.
You got the Grandmaster, of course.
Jeff Goldblum, shout out. Just what a character.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Topaz, his sidekick, is probably I think she's really famous in Australia, New Zealand.
Oh.
Because she's got the accent, so maybe
And the
it's
look.
just
Oh,
a
yeah,
casting.
makes sense. Because the whole time I was like, I've never seen it, but yeah, makes sense to think of it as New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
just Taika's
without
homage to
a
his
doubt.
people.
Because I mean, speaking of other characters, even Scourge.
Yeah.
Good
Carl Urban.
old,
Carl
what you
Urban.
call
Billy
the
Butcher.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you would
Yeah.
say something else.
No, Carl
yeah. A fellow Kiwi as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's Kiwi as well. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I always think he's British, and then at some points I get reminded, no. He's from down under, you know.
Down under.
yeah.
Yeah, so he had a really nice cameo in the movie there. And then who else can we mention?
I think for the most part, that's pretty. I don't know if you want to talk about Cork and Meek, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So Korg is Taika.
Voiced. The
Meek. Korg is a bit much at times for me. Super funny, but a bit much.
Yeah. But again, I think in this movie, for the most part, he was just fine. Then a little bit over.
Yeah, here and there. So I think. Yeah, those are the characters. I think
those are
the main
ones,
trio:
basically.
Tessa Thompson, or main quad.
Yeah.
I'd say Tessa Thompson,
Thor,
Hiddleston, Hemsworth, and Ruffalo.
Yep.
All had their moment to shine.
Yeah, and great chemistry all around.
Yeah. And you can see the banter flow, like, you know what I mean? Just So they really good story arcs. The Tessa Thompson, like denying her identity until she couldn't anymore.
Eish, man.
Ruffalo coming to terms with he lost control. Like, not necessarily got angry.
That was quite
He just
deep,
lost control.
And I feel like Thor was like, nah, we need the Hulk, and was dismissing it. Homie's like, dude, if I turn into the Hulk again, that might be it. Like, that was actually quite deep for him to say. Yeah.
And also Thor, like, you know, acknowledging the death of his dad, but also acknowledging his power is coming from within as well.
Yeah.
With the visions of his dad when he's in stress. Loki as well. You know, Thor left him for dead, but he still came back and saved Asgard.
Yeah.
So this is like a turning point for his character in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I think previous to this, it was just villainy the whole time.
Yeah.
And now you can see that selfness that's coming through. And even Thor just saying, brother, I always knew you could do better. And, you know, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think everyone played their role well.
Yeah, there was quite a nice
and
balance
obviously,
overall.
Idris Elba, how can we forget?
Yeah, Heimdall. Yeah, this is actually one of his better turnouts because overall, I always felt he was underutilized. But I'm like, nah, in this one, he actually came through. He did his thing. So shout out to good old Idris, man. And there's quite clearly a shift in tone, you know, not just
for sure,
the comedy, but even from a visual perspective. And
much lighter.
Watching it, I was like, nah, actually, it worked. I'm not mad at it. And speaking of Thor and his character arc, I remember always feeling like, which was part of my beef around this movie. I'm like, all the serious moments, you know, it's not just about the comedy, but it's like they don't address it. But now I realize Thor was basically suppressing his feelings throughout.
With the comedy,
Yeah, whether it's a comedy or just not addressing them directly or, you know, focusing on other things. Because I'm like, the whole time I kept saying, but your father just died and this and that. And then at the end, as all those things come to life, he's like, I lost my hammer, I lost my dad, I don't know who I am,
don't have
I don't
power,
know my powers and all. And I was like, now the suppression is basically, you know, bubbling and boiling over. And the fact that he turned that around and still went and confronted everything. He's like, it's not in my nature to run away from my problems.
Yeah.
I ran towards them. I was like, oof, okay. Y'all came through nicely with it. So considering this movie as a whole, start to finish package, I was like, nah, man. It was, actually quite a brilliantly told
really
story, without a doubt. I think before we go any further about the things we enjoyed, we speak a lot about some of the comedy, you know, taken away from it. And I think to address some of those, for me, I also noticed when the first one came up, which is why I highlighted the notion, or the point at which they arrive at, you know, the Grandmaster's parents. When he was on those restrained in that chair, and then they showed like the fast-moving lasers and whatnot around him, and they were like, "You're gonna meet the Grandmaster in 5, 4, 3, 2," and at the end they had them going by so quick, and then he was screaming, and he just screaming,
and then the people around him.
I was like,
Is that one?
There was a little unnecessary.
For me, there was a few times where they were like really like emotive scenes, and they hit the punchline,
and then
joke.
immediately,
They cut the tension with the joke. So they
Yeah.
did that a few times,
Yeah, yeah.
and that is where I didn't enjoy the comedy. Like, let it breathe before you cut the joke.
Yeah. Especially given how many jokes there were throughout.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you don't have a joke here at all, there's still another one coming around the corner, you know. So, which is why I hated on it so much, you know, even with the love I had. It's the fact that the history of Thor not having great reviews made them overcompensate with comedy in this one. Granted, as we've acknowledged, not to the extent we used
Thought
to
it
think,
was, yeah.
but where it does come through, it's like, no, guys, you finally found the perfect Thor story. You were not supposed to then, you know, wash it down essentially with all this comedy. But again, overall, I still walked away feeling like, man, what an amazing ride, you know, that we went on. You touched on the visuals, and again, I want to say,
stunning.
no.
Bifrost,
Yes.
Sakaar, the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
The tournament, like the fight that, you know,
the fight
Thor
was really
and Hulk,
good, yeah.
It looked beautiful as hell, you know. Hulk's CGI, like, it's still the thing where
Even,
it feels so real, and, you know.
Costumes.
Yes.
Costumes.
Again, it's so funny mentioning these things, knowing what comes next. It's like, you had it so nice and perfect, and then you just, you know, went another way, you know. Thor getting his hair cut, I always had that sensitivity. I was like, no, man, he must have that long hair. He must have... But nah, what they did, I actually like it quite a bit. I don't know how you felt about it.
I don't know. I'm indifferent, really. I just think it's easier for Chris Hemsworth to keep short hair. Because it's real hair, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. But for me, as far as just the character, like, okay, at least it didn't
but also
mess with his look.
It does make him look more rugged with the shorter hair.
Yeah, and more cool, of course. And yeah. But of course, it's Chris Hemsworth. It's like...
Have you seen that man's
so
arms, how big it was?
Yeah, it's one of those...
Like his arm was bigger than my whole head.
What in the world can you do to even, you know, ruin him? But for me, just in the concept of being Thor, I was like, okay, I still feel that authority, and, you know, he does have that aura, if you will. Yeah. Shout out Stan Lee, you know, his cameos again coming through with the hair. He's like, hey, his head's not as stable as it used to be. He better sit still. And I liked how, never mind the short hair, but the lines that they added.
Yeah, like it looked, how can I say, it didn't look clean, so it looked rugged.
Yeah, and it's almost like, because now you're part of his tribe, essentially. So it added a tribal feel to it, but even as Thor, it doesn't necessarily take away from it. So that for me was like a nice little added touch. Hela's costume, what you think of that?
I liked it, like black and green. Like it's such an evil like combination.
Yeah. And again, the shade of the colors was just
but
perfect.
It also feeds into her power, because like when she brought the army back and her wolf back, it was all green,
they had that green,
black
and, that neon green thingy flowing through. That was cool. I also like how she suits up, you know, whenever she does that thing, and the transition.
But
always
do you know what
so
I liked
dope,
about her as well? Like when she came out of the portal initially, she had a messy hair, like she was being imprisoned.
Oh yeah,
and
then after that, it always looked nice and straight. And damn, it's a nice little catch there. Yeah. And then, but I think standard costumes. Oh, Valkyrie, standard one, and then the Valkyrie.
Her Valkyrie costume is definitely the standard.
Especially in the flashback scenes, like I don't even know if it's the cinematography or, but like, man, that thing looked like it was filmed in heaven. It looked so beautiful and pristine. It was one of those things I was like, I can imagine watching this in IMAX, because I certainly didn't watch this in IMAX at the time, but I was like, that scene alone was like, oof, so beautiful, man. And of course, even the emotion they put about as far as their storytelling and, you know.
Like you could see, her like her army tattoo, her Valkyrie tattoo. Everybody saw it. It's like, oh, you're a Valkyrie. Don't worry about it.
Talk about it, and
And then you won't find your answers at the bottom of a bottle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And also they gave that context to why she is who she is today, forever drowning her sorrows and all. And she was like, I was also supposed to be dead if it wasn't for. And they actually showed a visual where, you know, that her one colleague stepped in and took the sword for her, and it's like, oof. Nah, I see you, Valkyrie. I think costume-wise, maybe you want to give an honorable mention to Grandmaster. His was also kind of cool for, you know, what it was and all. But I think, those are the main ones. Hela and Thor, without a doubt, like, oof.
Yeah, top tier.
Absolutely.
Loki is just
brilliant.
normal Loki.
It was same old Loki for the most part. The fight with Thor and Hulk. I don't know if you have a dog in the fight, especially since Avengers. Of course, in the comics and the cartoons, it's always been a thing that Hulk versus Thor and whatever, who would actually win. But I liked how this one played out actually. And I would like, in the beginning, I was always on some, Hulk, the big green one. But it's like, no, Thor's a fighter, dog.
Yeah.
Thor is strong, he's smart.
Fighting for thousands of years.
And so I liked how that came through. And we clearly saw he won. He was just cheated there at the end. But yeah, for you?
Was it Hulk just has a bad record in the MCU? He just loses a lot.
Eish, yeah.
So he technically won one this time. Because, I mean, he lost to Hulkbuster.
Go to sleep.
And then he lost now. And then we'll see subsequent movies be taking L's.
Yeah. But I mean, when it comes to the villains, he always does his thing. So we'll give him that. We saw how
I did like the homage, like when Hulk caught Thor and did the Loki to him.
Yes! That's how that feels!
Yeah, so definitely like that. It is a really good fight. And you could see as soon as Thor took a hold of Hulk's hammer, he started winning because he's good with the hammer.
Exactly. That's his weapon of choice, basically. Yeah. Now, I also like it had this slower pace, but it was justified.
Impactful,
Because again, it's like, I know him, he's a friend from work. It's not just people fighting for the sake of fighting type of thing. He was almost trying to subdue him. And then somebody's like, okay, this guy's not gonna listen. Let's take it all the way, So I like how it built up and the pacing of it. That was quite brilliant. And the whole spectacle, man, of the gladiator thing and whatnot. I don't watch too many of those type of shows and movies, but the few that I have seen, they're always quite exciting. And I liked how this basically played into that as well. Not to mention that whole slave master thing, despite him hating the word, but as far as
paid workers,
like the prisoners, pay and whatnot for work. The fact that you say whatever it is that you need to say. Tell people, nah, man, you earn your freedom by winning, and you can, but you still
chose
to
controlling the narrative.
So I was like, ooh, that's classic imprisonment type stuff. I like that aspect coming through. And then we of course have the big fight back in Asgard before they have to actually make Ragnarok happen. But before we get into that, I just want to touch on again the portrayal of Hela. We can't take away from, but for me, I feel like there were a few too many scenes that we saw her where she wasn't doing anything. And I was like, if anything, just have her going around destroying different parts of Asgard or just, adding to the destruction element instead of just sitting and waiting. I don't know how you felt.
I get what you mean. Like, maybe a little bit more. Like she had, in the first half of the movie, definitely, had a lot of impactful scenes, but towards the latter half, less so.
Yeah.
So I agree with it.
Yeah, I feel like if they didn't show her until the end, I would have said we should have seen more of her. Whereas now that we did see more, I want to say, show her doing more.
So like you had the Valkyrie flashback, or like even if you're not in the movie, like like she's talking to Scourge the whole time. Like give him like incept his mind.
Even us as the audience, show us then like, this is
how did you conquer it with Odin?
Because they showed the murals, but it's like, okay, bring those to life so that we see the two of them. It would have also been dope just to see them side by side. Odin and Hela from back then. That would have been a dope angle actually. But then we get to the fight. What's your feel around the fact that they didn't let Thor defeat her directly?
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point is Asgard is a people, not a place type of thing.
Yeah.
And they've built her up as being unstoppable as long as she's in Asgard.
Yeah.
So the fact that he couldn't defeat her, because Odin couldn't defeat her.
Yes.
And Thor is stronger than Odin, as Odin said.
Yeah.
And he still couldn't defeat him. Makes sense.
I also,
so logically within the confines of the story, it makes sense.
I enjoyed it from that angle as well. I feel like in the beginning, because again, which is ironic because I say a lot that no man, subvert expectations, sometimes let the villain win and whatever. But the first time I maybe struggled because I'm like, no, but he's Thor, he's the hero. Why don't they give him the win? But this time around, I watched it and I was like,
this movie wasn't about winning.
Nope, because on one front it does exactly what you're saying. It highlights just how strong she is because it speaks to not only what we've seen but also what's been said. And the fact that she had to be contained because she couldn't be defeated. If Thor just came and defeated, it's like, he's strong, but at the same time it would undermine that aspect. And for me, what took it a notch further is the fact that Ragnarok is a prophecy.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it. It just had to happen. I mean, even Surta himself was like, yeah, now's the time.
It's already begun, yeah.
Exactly, it's already begun. There's no stopping it. And the fact that I had to then go and rely on him to come, I was like, man. Not to mention then showing the mischievous nature of Loki. When he was walking through
but also
that little...
the vault scenes, even with Loki first, and then with Hela, first with Hela was like, you know, when the Infinity Gauntlet, you just eat big ass Easter egg.
Fake, yeah.
Fake.
And I mean, we know the MCU is prone to making mistakes. So when they showed what you might call Thanos saying, "Fine, I'll get it myself," and then he had it on. It was like, now, wait, what about the other one that you showed? So they were like, okay, let's retcon it quickly. I was like, I'm not mad at it, fine, it is what it is, you know. But again, Loki's like, at any given point, he can't help himself. He's like, hey, what's going on over there, you know? So it's like, hey, you are who you are, man, no matter how much you may try to change at times. I definitely enjoyed that part. And even from a visual perspective, man, I think...
But even that whole scene, everyone had their moment to shine.
Yes.
Hulk with the wolf.
Yes.
Like and that one even made sense. It's like an animal going against an animal. Yeah, you know, like a beast fight.
Oh, damn.
Beast.
That was pretty dope. Even the intro of the Hulk, if you will, where he was like...
I don't know how I felt about that.
Man. I also used to have mixed feelings, but this time I didn't hate it as much.
But I guess it also happened in Incredible Hulk. The same thing happened.
Which scene?
When Edward Norton's in the helicopter and is like, it's always it happened, but not as a funny thing.
It happened as expected, if you will. Yeah, I got you. No, I also hated that the way they did it at first, but again, this time around I was like.
But I guess it's more of a payoff for Valkyrie because they were like, "Who are you? I feel like I know you too."
And yeah. But obviously, it still would have happened the same way if he just transformed. But I was like,
They made prime opportunity for a superhero drop.
Oh, yeah, like, with that landing and whatever. Yeah.
Deadpool told you.
And then not to mention that at the end, like, when Hulk then ran to Surta and he started beating, and he was cracking the mask. And they're like, oh, no, for once in your life, don't smash. He's like, big monster. It's like, no. And then he just walks over. I was like, Hulk, you know. Which again is like the brilliant kind of comedy that you can bring in without
with the Hulk as
overly doing it. Yeah. And then of course Scourge having his little redemption moment.
Des
and
well. Troy.
Yeah. With the whole, like he was hiding. He's a survivalist of note, dog. Any given time, he's like, hey man, choose whatever side's gonna, you know.
And then like his come up and be like, he's showing his moment here.
Exactly. Then he was like, nah, actually man, let me go help these people out. So I saw this fun little fact around that scene. When he steps out with the guns, there's a shot where he's standing on top of those bodies and shooting. It's a homage to a Doom game cover. And he played Doom in the movie. And I was like,
I watched the Doom movie way back when with Mr. Dwayne The Rock.
I actually haven't seen any of them. I think one time
I just remember Caleb and Dwayne
for old time's sake, because I have played the video games.
Or the shitty movie, that's what I watched. So.
Way back. So, but anyway, fun little fact on that front. And
well, now you're speaking about homages and cameos. You have to give it up to Cameo King himself, Matt Damon.
Oh yes, in the little play that they did,
and the third Hemsworth brother.
The third Hemsworth. I remember watching the first time. I didn't know he was a brother. I'm like, hi man, they actually found someone who looks like Thor, and then only to later find out that that's one of his brothers. Yeah, shout out to him.
I don't know if there were any.
Nah, certainly not too many.
I feel like there was a Beta Ray Bill, if you're a comic fan.
Yes. So at some point when they show that building with the faces of the champions. He does
so Beta Ray Bill, and if you don't know, Beta Ray Bill is a guy who actually wields Stormbreaker in the comics.
Oh, okay. Is that where?
Yeah.
Excuse me, because
that's where Stormbreaker comes from.
I didn't know of him until people started speaking of him based off of
the movie,
the appearance in the movie.
Yeah, so he's the original wielder of Stormbreaker in the comics.
Probably would be dope to see him at some stage, but I feel like Marvel is unlikely to go down that path. But I don't know if there's anything else overall that you want to highlight around this movie.
Well, and Doctor Strange cameo. How can we forget?
Yeah. Before they went to, or rather, as they were going to find
Earth,
Odin. Yeah.
No, I think I really enjoyed from start to finish. It didn't feel as long as it actually is.
No, not at all. Yeah.
I definitely feel it's better in the first half.
Yeah, especially on the pacing element and so on. Yeah. The last part had the storytelling, but just how it came about, I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I think from my side, as long as the point is out there that I'm now with the masses who absolutely love this movie and all of that. I'm like, no, you guys were onto something. I was just, so hyper focused on all that comedy at the time. And not to mention, in retrospect, given,
where we ended up, maybe we were justified.
But we're just going to keep the focus on there for now. Cool. So out of 10, what are you giving this one?
I want to say 7.5. Yeah.
I think for me, I'm going to give it an 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, it's an 8 out of the soft 8, but an 8 nonetheless.
Yeah,
because, again, if I just think of the story alone, and the not so nice elements didn't take away that much from it at the end of the day. Again, you can't deny it was not only the greatest Thor movie we've got so far, but even just the gap, in relation to whatever you place as second base is quite incredible. And even overall in the MCU space, I think, they delivered quite a solid product. Then let's just recap our top 5 quickly. We've got Iron Man 1. We've got Spider-Man Homecoming, Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, and then Avengers 1. And this is not going to crack that, no doubt. But very, very fun and enjoyable movie. And we speak a lot about rewatchability. And there's just enough of a standalone element that you don't even need to be overly tied into, what happened with the others. If you just enjoy this genre of movie.
How can I say, the only tie-in from like the previous is Hulk. And they kind of show you that. But like, where are you, big guy?
Yeah, it wouldn't make complete sense if you're not as familiar, but you don't lose that much given the overall scope. So, then I guess from our side, that's pretty much it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, drop us the comments, let us know if you agree, disagree. And other than that, we'll catch y'all then, in the next episode of PGZ. Peace.